Welcome to Window Shop with Car and Driver. This is the weekly show where Car and Driver editors, contributors, friends of the magazine all gather to look at cars online based on a challenge. This week's challenge is to find iconic engines, engines that put a manufacturer on the map for good or for bad, that we love, that anybody loves, that made famous engines basically. And then we can pick whatever car we want to put them in. We upped the budget this week. We're a little high this week at $50,000, but one of us didn't quite get the memo, but you'll find out about that soon enough.
I filed a grievance.
We're joined by our contributor, Brett Burke, who's on, I think this is your third time, right?
I think so. It feels like more.
And if you're wondering where Pearlie is, he got a plum assignment this week, but he'll probably be back next week. He sends his regards to everyone. Jonathan Ramsey is joining us again, Casey Colwell, and Joey Caparella. Joey, why don't you kick it off?
I thought you said I wasn't starting. Okay. The reason I'm nervous is because I know I'm going to get a lot of crap from everyone about this, but I have an explanation. Okay.
I object. I object.
This may look like your typical Toyota hatchback from the early 2000s.
Is there $45,000 in the trunk?
Way under budget. And okay, so my reasoning for this car, the engine is called the 2ZZ-GE. It's a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. It has 180 horsepower, so it's 100 horsepower per liter, which was kind of a big deal at the time. And it revs to 8,200 RPM. That's the red line. And I think this engine is iconic because, first of all, the specs are pretty impressive, but also this is the engine that Lotus chose to put in the Elise. And
why wouldn't you just choose the Lotus?
Yeah, where's the Lotus?
You know me better than that. It's a Toyota engine and it's in a Toyota, and I just think it's cool that there's this like random economy car with this cool engine that, like, you know, how often do you find 8,200 RPM economy cars?
They're not that pleasant to drive because all the power is above like 6,600. So
it's between 8,000 and 8,200.
Yeah, so who's driving?
We didn't say best engines, we said most iconic engines.
But it's also a Yamaha, so it's not even a Toyota.
Yeah, so it has the camshaft or something from Yamaha or something like that.
I think the design and built was by Yamaha.
Yeah, it was.
Now, wasn't this a twin of the Pontiac Vibe?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't you get a few points deducted for that? Just for that.
Well, you can tell it's the early one too because it has the GM radio in it, which is so.
Oh my God.
That's how you can tell.
Because the later Matrixes had Toyota radio.
I don't know, Joey.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
We know, Tony. We know.
It's a cool engine though, right? Even if it's like not technically good.
Was it really that? But if you couldn't tell if it was cool in this car, if you had to build a different car in order to tell if the engine was
but it's engine, not car, right?
It is. You're right. But I mean, putting it in the right car is a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that would have gotten me extra.
Yeah, I mean, I could have just had a Cosworth DFV, just the engine for $50,000, but
And I gotta say, as a former Elise owner, that this engine in that car felt like it didn't have any power until you got to 6,600. And
Dude, I like that.
They even shortened the tach. I think up to 3,000 RPM was the same.
Oh yeah, right.
As 1 to 3 was the same distance as 3 to 4.
That's
so
right.
the tach was like non-linear at the low end because you only drove the thing.
Yeah, you keep it at least $3,000. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's interesting though.
But you didn't have the Lotus.
But it's a Toyota engine.
It's a Yamaha
engine.
Okay, well, there's no Yamaha cars.
Wow, and a tapioca Toyota that kind of was all right in a Lotus.
Also, I like the Matrix XRS because it was a manual only version.
Okay, what about this example? How many miles are on this one?
I should probably stop talking now.
Oh,
Oh, only 135.
I was gonna say you probably could have found like new unsold on a lot in like somewhere in Idaho.
Well, this is the best I could do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, well,
Sorry,
lucky
everyone.
you have $45,000 to buy a different car.
Well, you could buy the lease with the money left over.
You can buy a really nice Elise and this car.
You could. Joey would never drive it. It would sit behind the
I would
Subaru.
only drive the Matrix.
That's exactly.
Do you like the Matrix, Joey? Is this
I actually kind of do because it has these like, it has all these like practical things like the hard back seat backs, and then also I think the front passenger seat folds flat. So I like it for those reasons.
You can stack papers on it.
You can see
Sure,
you
this
can
is
tell
not
the
the
folds flat by
conversation
the
we wanted to
side.
have on the iconic engines episode.
It's not a bad looking car. And this one has some sort of ground effects package. It's got that.
That's the XRS. Yeah, see, so the
Yeah,
the front passenger seat would fold flat, and it can be
you
like
can see the second
Oh,
hinge
yeah, I
too.
can see
Also,
the release.
I wonder if there's a reason why we don't see fold flat passenger seats anymore from a safety perspective.
I don't know.
It's a very good
it
question.
was popular in the mid 2000s.
So this is the
Was it?
perfect car if you go to
Who
Home
needs-
Depot and you buy a ladder.
Who needs a full flat passenger seat?
Ladder buyers.
Yeah,
And people that want to
people in the ladder trade.
on something that looks sort of exactly like a cafeteria tray inside, but inside their car.
I want to hear.
Yokohama.
Yeah, they were one step ahead of Ford by putting like the cafeteria eatery next to you. This was the Ford F-150's inspiration.
Is there a shot of the tachometer?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, there is. There's a
200
shot.
RPM is the red line.
There you
there's
go.
one.
No, just the speedo. Oh yeah, there it is.
get a little bit in there. Yeah, look at that.
200.
Yeah, there's air. There's air in there. There's air under that tire.
Yeah, you'd have to keep it at between 6,000 and 8,000 to have any sort of forward
Yeah.
acceleration.
You gotta work hard for that power. Okay, I'm done.
Thanks for that, Joey.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, It's a tough act to follow, Brett.
You're not welcome.
Brett,
Yeah, I
Brett,
don't
you're up
know.
next.
I don't know if anyone's gonna like my idea.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Ooh.
So the 300 series, the W186, was originally introduced in the early 50s. It had a straight six, 3-liter straight six engine that Mercedes also just so happened to use in a little car called the Gullwing, the 300 SL. So actually quite a few features from this, I think from the chassis and drivetrain suspension from this big giant boat of a sedan were utilized in the Gullwing. And in this version, the later version, the W189, is sort of a more formal looking sedan, a little more stretched out, squared off, and it used a fuel injected 3.0 liter straight six. And Mercedes, had been using straight six engines since very early on, I think in the early part of the 20th century.
Wait, does this have the direct injection?
No, I don't think so. I think it has mechanical fuel injection.
Yeah.
But
In the
I
first
think-
paragraph.
Is the D,
What's
does
that?
the D mean it's a diesel?
No, it was the original Adenauer 300 was just called the 300. Then they had the 300B, 300C, 300D. But it does complicate your search terms when you're looking for these cars, because you end up with a lot of rattletrap diesels from the 123s from the 70s.
Yeah, Google probably isn't designed for finding Adenauers, is it?
No, it's
And
not.
it shouldn't be.
Now, the weirdest thing about these cars, or one of the weird things about these cars, well, besides the fact that they had an adjustable rear suspension, you could sort of harden the rear suspension with a pedal or a switch in the car.
Yeah.
And they were pretty much hand built. They were, used by the Chancellor of Germany. That's why they're called Adenauers. Adenauer is the post-war Chancellor of Germany. All this wood, all this chrome, all this leather and doubly. Oh, there's a beautiful mechanical fuel injection.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's the these are direct injection.
Oh yeah. So I mean, this is a serious, this is a serious motor.
It's really cool. It's only 50 grand and you get something very closely related to the 300 SL Gullwing engine. That's
Well, wait, how long ago did that sell though?
This was from this
Oh.
June.
This year.
There all day long you can find Adenauer Benzes for under 50 grand. Here's a $32,000 one, which is in pretty nice shape. The other really cool thing about this, is this
I
another one?
appreciate you bumping right up to that limit.
Yeah, here's a convertible. This is an earlier one. This is a
Oh, four-door convertible.
four-door convertible. Yeah, four-door convertible. We don't see it with the top down. So
How long does it take to put that top down?
your servant does it.
Yeah, no, it's probably no worse than a Jeep.
Yeah, it's an hour. And there was
4-speed
one
on the tree.
This is another one. This one's absolutely stunning, but it was 54,000. And it's an automatic though. You could get this is a 4-speed manual, the one I was showing you before, as are the rest of the ones that I selected. But this one's an automatic.
Wait, which one?
This one here. Can you not see it?
It
No.
says manual.
Oh yeah. Here. Oh, I'm sorry. You were looking at. You're not. You can't. I guess you can't see this part of the screen.
No.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
never
sure.
mind.
It's behind your firewall.
And do you actually like this car? Would you actually own and drive this car?
My prerequisites for owning and driving a car is that you have to be able to drive it while wearing a sailor's hat and an ascot and smoking a more menthol. And I
Like
think
your your cross trek? Is that
I believe it's an all track.
right. Yeah,
An
it's
all
an
track.
no, I don't
sorry? Like your all track?
Look at that beauty.
Right, same question, but with all track.
That's exactly.
Same question.
The other thing about these cars is that they are pillarless in the G series. They were pillarless hardtops, and you could remove. There's a third window back there, that you
So
could
you mean
actually take
You
out.
died if you rolled over, no questions
I mean,
asked.
it seems like that roof is pretty strong.
I don't think you're gonna roll this thing over.
This window here comes out, like you can remove it. These roll down, and so this whole expanse here is all just big.
Brett, is there a good shot of the rear seat?
Yes. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get to it.
Hmm.
Where is it?
So, yeah. Just,
Lost for words.
I mean, you nailed the iconic engine. I will give you that.
certainly.
I mean,
What I have
a lot of car for the money. You know what I mean?
but I have the same question as for Joey. Why this car for that engine is my question.
Well,
Why-
we had a $50,000 limit, so there it is with the window removed. Can you
It's
see
too
that?
bad Lotus never put this engine into.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Then we could talk.
In the trunk. So you can sort of see the whole thing here now. I think these cars are so stately and handsome.
They're cool.
And they yeah, there's a removed window. And they're like the Rolls Royce of their day, but from Germany. And for 50 grand. This is a pristine one out of a museum collection, and it sold for 50 grand.
Look at the
I mean-
proportions. The proportions are awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
look at
really
that.
car.
It's like almost as if Mercedes-Benz is giving birth to its post-war, lineup essentially. Like you can see these sort of pre-war fenders pasted on to sort of a sleeker, more refined and less baroque sedan.
Is there a German gangster film genre? Because I feel like that's where this car belongs. Like,
You know what? I'm gonna have to check IMCDB
yeah,
to find out like
Wait,
where this car showed up in movies,
There's
because
got to be some good ones.
I'm sure someone drove it that now or
what's that, Casey?
It's called World War II.
oh, Zing!
I mean, we can
Survey
edit that out,
says.
but yeah,
We're driving 540Ks.
I mean- yeah.
The German gang.
Okay, that's the number one answer on the board.
So when in doubt, add an hour. That's my new motto. I need to buy one of these. I was
No, I
looking
think
at
that's
560
pretty cool.
SECs, but I think this is more car for the money.
Yeah, we've talked about before, the Europeans considered, and a lot of people early on considered like fabric seats to be more luxurious than leather seats.
Yes, that's
Well,
true.
royalty all had fabric stuff until I think the early 20th century. Yeah,
The Queen
20th century.
the Queen still does. The Queen of England.
Right, and everything.
Yeah, leather was for your chauffeur seats.
Exactly. Leather was just the durable fabric or the durable material.
When it costs and just, I mean, textiles just cost more to manufacture. I mean, that all stuff was
Right.
like woven by hand, basically.
Exactly. You didn't just have to steal it off of an animal's body.
Right.
Yeah.
They had giant looms making this.
I mean,
This car was actually produced on a loom.
All right. Thank you, Brett.
I'll stop scrolling and I'll stop.
Mr. Colwell, you may
All right.
air your grievance now and present your car.
All right. So yeah, this was originally set up as a $25,000 challenge, and it was
Then I found the odd hour.
And we
Well-
learned Casey doesn't look at emails over the weekend, even if they're.
well, I
free.
mean, yeah, I mean, so here's me looking up. Yes, it's got mechanical injection, and I found this car would have won any $25,000 sweet engine challenge. But part of the reasons why I went with cabriolet was because they are, despite being way more rare, despite being more rare, they cost less right now. But here is a beautiful 2007 Audi RS4. This is a 4.2 liter V8, revs to 8,000 RPM. These
It
cars
sounds so good.
these
Sounds
cars are
really
pretty sweet to drive.
Yeah.
I remember, I actually remember Tony, a quote that Tony had after he chucked this thing into a turn somewhere near Ann Arbor, and he said that the car, it was a car that made him not want a 911, something to
Wow.
those effect.
High praise.
It was- yeah.
I just gotten back from karting, and so I had karting like G loading in my brain, and I threw this thing into a corner like a go kart, and the thing stuck, and I
Yeah.
was just so astonished.
I loved
Um,
that car when it came out. I think the first year I was doing the Vanity Fair car column, I named this one of my top 5 cars of the year or something like that. I got a lot of shit about it.
No, you were
Really?
right. You
Yeah.
were 100%
Better,
right.
better than the 3 series of the time.
And this is the engine that went into the R8. Did you mention?
Yeah,
that?
well, and that's it. Well, and then when I found out it was 50,000, I started looking. R8s are still not
Yeah.
below 50 grand, even the early ones. But yeah, but this RS4, you could have just a little piece of R8, and this red one's cool.
Yeah, this particular one looks super well kit.
Super clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
What
funny.
about-
It's like this is
what
all
about-
early carbon fiber that,
That's super
um,
nice.
Oh, it turns yellow.
yeah, just from being heat cycled.
Oh, that
Yeah.
looks kind of cool though. It's just
Yeah.
aged. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
patina.
Yeah,
It's got a patina. It looks like bronze. They would do that now on purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you pay like an extra $1 million for your Pagani to be that color.
Where is this?
where's the car?
Yeah.
I don't know.
On
This
the
was
internet.
Oh, Seattle.
Washington. It's at Park Place. Pearlie's presented cars from Park Place, I think.
but also lots of
what are the
lots of pictures. I don't know. Here we can look at
It was
The
like
original
70-some
Monroney.
thousand, right? 73.
70,000 miles or price?
The
What were you
price
wondering, Tom?
originally was 70.
Oh, 72,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many miles are on it?
So they were only. Oh, and this is according. I didn't even see this because I did this all late. But they were only 66. Red with black interior.
Hmm.
Put that on your Pebble Beach placard in
Oh, yeah.
2071.
This thing will never be running that long.
No, not a
Too many
chance.
computers in it.
It's awesome.
Well, you need an Adenauer.
Exactly.
That's
But yeah,
rough.
but this is these are rad cars. I would gladly drive.
Yeah,
one.
one of my only regrets about leaving Automobile Magazine the first time is right after I left, they got a long-term one of these.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That had to have been a juicy one.
yeah, they had one for a year. Beautiful. How many miles are on this one?
This was one of the lower mileage example ones that I could find. It was like 70 some, yeah, like 74. So not a ton. 5 owners is a little
That's a lot.
concerning, although I got to imagine it was a lease and then and then turned in and
But it is a bit high strung for an Audi. Like it was a bit different from like the rest of the Audi thing. So I could see people saying, I want to try an RS4 and then being like, all right, I had my fun.
Right.
Let's get something
Yeah.
else.
Back into a Q5.
They ride
Yeah.
beautifully though. They've got a really great ride. They've got the interconnected.
yeah, they have the hydraulic roll control.
Yeah,
so-
like a McLaren, right?
So yeah, sort of like a McLaren, not quite as sophisticated as a McLaren, but yeah. So the dampers are all like cross linked. So yeah, it's crafty stuff.
So
I mean,
they
that was
ride really well. Sorry, John.
Well, that was a Citroen DS thing too, wasn't it?
Sort of, yeah, hydropneumatic.
Yeah.
And that was on like the S8s of this era. I think. Well, Yeah, S8s, but I don't think it was on the S6 of this era. But
No, it wasn't.
yeah.
The S6 rode like crap. The V10
Yeah.
S6 rode terribly.
yeah. But yeah,
love it.
this the only thing that would make it cooler is if it didn't have a sunroof.
So the RS4s also had fender flares too.
Sunroof.
Like the
That's
bodywork was unique.
yeah.
You were anti sunroof.
Yeah, why do you hate a sunroof?
It's I mean it puts mass in a place you don't want it. It cuts down on headroom. That's kind of the two things.
I never
can leak.
opened mine. I never.
Yeah,
opened
I never use them. They're and like the way they, especially in modern cars, it's like behind you. So, And the worst is when you get in a car after somebody left the sunroof, even just the glass exposed and it's open and there's all the solar gain.
Wait, none of you even vent the sunroof, like just to get a little air flowing?
I love a sunroof. I don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly, I love it.
How much
Only-
mass?
only when I
possibly
smoke-
add? Is it like
Only when I smoke a cigar.
With
How
your
much more
sailing
mass?
hat on.
I want to know the answer to this question, technical editor. How much more mass does a sunroof add to a car?
I mean, it depends on the sunroof. I mean, some quite a lot, but I mean, I'm guessing it's probably like 60 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big piece of glass.
It's a big piece of glass. There's motors and it's all overbuilt because it's got to withstand, it's got to stay there in the event of a crash. But it's in the absolute worst possible spot for performance.
All right, thank you, Casey.
It raises your center of gravity. So,
I believe you.
So do you want to go back to the convertible then?
but
Or
you can just take the glass out of your Adenauer and then it's fine.
Exactly. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Speaking of crashes, I looked up the Aerostar crash results after last week's episode, and in the offset NHTSA test, the steering wheel fell off.
Did someone have an Aerostar last week?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Best car for teen brides?
Pretty much.
It was
Much.
best cars for our managing editor Mike Fazioli for his kids.
He not only had an Aerostar, he had a terrible fifth dimension abuse of a song when Ford took Age of Aquarius to do
the Aerostar.
Yeah.
Age of Aerostarius? What was the
Age of the Aerostar.
Just watch the ad. It's at the end of the video.
Wow.
Age of the Aerostar.
Yeah, that got me thinking. We need to do a. I know Jonathan hated it. We need to do a best car commercial one.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
All right. Who's next? My list. I've got Casey.
love the
Oh wait,
50s.
Casey already went. Jonathan, you're next.
I am.
Wow.
You want me to go again?
We're off track.
I do want to say, I came into this week thinking that no matter what happens, I need to stop Casey from winning. That was my number one goal. I'm going to sacrifice it for the purposes of this, but I'm not happy about it. But so I'm just going to run through. I was going to share the AMC. Oh man, what are you doing there? The AMC Straight Six,
I could have
1960.
told the story about how my mom almost killed my dad on their honeymoon in a Gremlin. I'll say that.
With the car or with
Yeah, the car.
I was going to do the W12 from the Bentley GT, which I love, but I'm going to go snarky and do the 2-liter common rail VW diesel.
Clean diesel.
Oh, nice.
That's exactly the eco-friendly diesel that is
You
responsible.
should have gotten one that had the clean diesel graphics on the side.
I couldn't find
yeah.
one.
I
They're
think they scrubbed all of those. Or
Yeah.
I'm sure they did.
probably at the bottom of the ocean. For Golfs, people want crazy money, and there are not that many of them for sale. This one,
How much is this one? 50.
Yeah, how much?
this
55,000.
one is
That's a fair price for that car.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, is it really?
Well, because the gas one would probably be like 7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah.
You can buy a 2019 or 2020 Golf, a brand new one for like $20,000.
No,
I mean,
they're like 25.
True. But I mean,
now.
it's almost double the price though. I mean,
They're like 24, 25 to start now.
Oh man,
Not cheap.
I feel like this is like saying, do you want to buy? I have a car that belonged to a war criminal. Do you want to buy it? I want 12 grand. and I know what I have. So don't try and knock me down. Like I feel like this is.
Was
Don't
Brett's
all the
car?
ones that are out there still, haven't they all been reconfigured or something?
Yeah,
like
they
that?
got the fix.
Was Brett's
Well,
car owned by a war criminal? Is that
No,
what
they didn't all
fucked
get the
it up?
fix.
Not that particular one.
Oh yeah, you don't have to get the fix.
Yeah, you had to like buy into the fix, and you did not have to do it.
Exactly, because people will advertise that I didn't get the fix because they didn't want to lose the performance
Yeah.
Yep.
of the diesel.
So there's anti-fixers.
Yes.
I like to see the Venn diagrammatic overlap between that and the anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers.
It's just one circle.
That's like,
But I
it's
do
really clean, John.
Casey's on the outside of that circle.
That's a manual. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it's a 2-door manual diesel. I mean, it's kind of the ideal Golf.
yeah.
Oh, you like the 2-doors? I used to
I
like the
think they
2-doors,
look
but I
good.
don't like them. I don't like them as much.
I think they look good, but I wouldn't buy one. It's not
Yeah,
practical.
they're a pain in the ass to get in and out of.
Those
It's
doors
got the
are so
17-inch
heavy.
wheels.
Oh my God.
No, but it's no. You're winning this so far. Just so you know.
No, man, Joey, you need 4 doors, Joey?
I don't need them, but I like the look of the 2-door, but it's just, if you put someone in your back seat like twice a year, like it's still worth it to have the 4 doors.
I like the look of the 4-door.
I like the look of the 4-door too. I used to
I
prefer
love
the
the
look.
2-door. I think the proportions of the 2-door are so great. And they're just more rare and interesting.
Yeah, especially as a diesel manual.
Now we're talking.
It
Okay.
looks like a very clean example with set for 75,000 miles on it. What's broken? It is a Volkswagen over 50,000 miles, so a lot of things must be broken.
The check engine light bulb is burned out.
Yeah.
For being on all the time.
Yeah.
Well, weren't those diesels pretty reliable though? I think
Oh yeah.
they were-
No, the diesels are
Good
pretty
engine.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And what 140 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque. I think car and driver Tony Swan drove it and dug it.
I think this is the very one he drove.
Very similar, yeah.
I think that was white,
Same
but
spec.
he there were 8 seconds, I think it is.
That's
From
pretty quick. It's quick.
Yeah, I
enough.
mean,
34
we got
MPG
34.
observed. Really impressive in our hands.
Oh yeah.
totally
Yeah.
34
Yeah.
and with a 14.5 gallon tank. You can go a long way.
If anybody watching this owns one of these in the Ann Arbor area, I would like to borrow it for 200 miles so we can subject it to our.
Then we'll
highway
give you
fuel
a full
economy
tank
test.
of diesel. We'll give you a full tank of diesel too.
Clean diesel.
Filtered.
You pour it through a sieve.
The Grey Goose of diesel.
It's triple charcoal filtered.
And like it doesn't have too many options, but like it seems like a nicely spec'd car. It's
One
everything.
owner also. That's great.
And- Yeah.
Oh, one owner. That's cool.
And it doesn't say if it had the fix though. So I'm gonna guess it didn't, but I
It
would
might have.
Yeah, is there any way to find out?
I bet Volkswagen would be able to tell you based on the.
Yeah.
But they might be like, what's your location? We'll come and check it. And then
Like, fix it.
Well,
fix
I mean, I think you could even get the fix if you were to buy this car. You could get the fix.
Yeah, it's a software thing.
it's for the
Yeah.
lifetime of the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, I think you could. But the amount of money you got back would be dependent on how much you bought the car
Alright.
for
I mean,
and how long you had it.
I like the 2-door as well because like it's got a GTI look and feel without
Yeah.
all of the GTI issues and boy racer vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one has the nice 17-inch wheels, which the GTIs of that vintage also had.
Yeah. So no, I dig this car. Bunches, and it's why we have the ID4, which is actually pretty decent. And everything else coming from Volkswagen, the Holy Roman Empire of car companies, decided.
I've never heard that before. I like that phrase.
Yeah, they decided to electrify because of the scandal.
Yeah.
They decided to.
Decide to.
Mandated.
Forced-
Yeah.
Mandated.
Yeah, but it all turned out good, except for some collateral damage. But we did.
Except for all those people who were in jail.
All those people, like what, 2?
Yeah, it was the guy who
Right.
mistakenly went on vacation in Florida. The VW exec who went to vacation on Florida, and then they arrested him immediately.
That's
Yeah.
Like
Everything turned out good except for those people.
Germans do love to vacation in South Florida.
he probably He probably parked his Adenauer Mercedes at the airport in Germany before he flew to Florida.
That's why they're so cheap.
That's exactly.
They're all being sold out of the estates of Volkswagen executives who are in jail.
All right. I don't have an Aerostar this week, but I do have something almost as good.
I'm sorry, it's got super dark in here.
I have to turn on the light.
Kind of like it dim.
Oh.
Air cooled.
Can you
Okay.
guys see that? The ultimate air-cooled 911.
And wait, again, the 95 specifically, or
It's
95?
literally the ultimate, right? Like that's the last year.
Yeah, this is the last air-cooled 911. And I like the 95s, Jonathan, because they're OBD1. They're not OBD2. And the
It's
OBD2s
the
have
first year of the 993.
in the United States. Yeah, this is the
Right,
first model
yeah.
year of the 993 in the United States.
Right.
So it was coupe and cabrio. The nice thing about the convertibles is their values are well below the coupes. Everybody wants the coupes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the convertibles relative to the coupes. So a 46,000 mile one like this one that's really
Wow.
nice and really clean is under 50 grand. A 46,000 mile coupe is, you know, a $60,000 to $70,000 car. So you save some money getting the convertible. And this one
But
has, sorry, go
the-
ahead.
The convertibles were, I mean, they were loud. You couldn't have a conversation like on your cell phone in the convertible.
Well, they're not a Park Avenue Ultra, no.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it, so thank
I meant
you.
to mention that the Adenauer was available with a VHF telephone, I think.
Wow, the early car phone.
That sounds like a field radio, is what they put.
You gotta crank it.
That's
Well,
exactly.
So yeah, it's I mean it's basically an oil cooled engine. It holds like 12 quarts of oil. It's got a dry sump. The 95s are 270 horsepower at 6,100 RPM, 243 pound-feet of torque at 5,000, which is pretty high. In 96, 97, and 98, they went to a variable intake system that fattened the torque curve a little and added 12 horsepower. But in our testing, they were no quicker. Let's see. There's no pictures of the engine, so I think this is the picture of the engine. Oh, that's the exploded view. Here's the engine. It's the M64. Two plugs per cylinder. When Dodge was developing the Hemi, they supposedly took a look at the 2-valve setup in this engine.
two plug.
No, the 2-valve. This is a 2-valve
two-valve.
cylinder single overhead cam. So they wanted that. Basically, that combustion chamber design that's on the new Hemi is not a copy, but inspired by the Porsche 2-valve. Little fun fact. My car
You said so it's got two spark plugs as well.
it's got dual plugs too. Yeah,
Dual plugs,
dual
okay.
plugs, two valves per cylinder. This one has all seasons, which is a concern for me. So I've spec'd some PS2.
I was just gonna ask, did you find tires and wheels?
We're over budget with those though.
I mean, I can negotiate downward to get rid of these horrible all seasons.
You can
They're
sell
actually good all
those.
seasons. They're Michelins. They're Michelin AS3s. And this
Yeah.
car is, I mean, it looks like a 46,000 mile car. It's super clean.
Yeah, what kind of radio does it have?
It has the original radio.
Oh,
that's spicy.
It has the original tape player, but,
Oh.
and I may try to negotiate downward more, Porsche introduced an Apple CarPlay, Porsche Classic radio.
You won't be able to hear anybody when you talk to them anyway. So
You'll be able to hear Siri reading your text back to you.
How much is that?
They're like,
Siri, what was that?
Radio, it's like
Siri.
$6,000, isn't it?
these are like
Wow.
1,100 to 1,200 from dealers. I think the list price is like 1,500.
but I mean, why wouldn't you just get like a good bow pumped and or leave what's in there and let it go? Like, do you really want to deal with that? What is
Yeah,
that?
I think it's not worth it.
Yeah, what is
I
that?
would do that. If I was
plug
going to
and
drive the car
play.
regularly, yeah, I would do
Plug
that.
and play too. And you
But you
get
can't-
Apple CarPlay.
But
Yeah.
like you said, Casey, you can't hear that. No
I
way.
know, but I could hear. It would be an easy way for me to listen to my podcast that I like to
No, but
listen
see,
to.
that's it. You can't listen to anything. You can't hear anything.
I think you're driving your convertible too fast. You should just
Oh,
slow
here-
down a little.
Oh my God, are you Joey too?
Sixth
Are you
gear.
Joey Junior? Oh my God.
No, I'm just trying
Pump
to
the
make
brakes,
it
Jonathan.
clear.
Pump the brakes.
Excuse
And
me.
here's the test of the Tiptronic one, which
Oh,
Chubba
yeah,
loves.
ask if that had Tiptronic.
So you could get
Oh,
a
wow.
Tiptronic in 95 in the convertible
What's
only.
that one that's drifting up there?
That's the coupe that everybody wants.
Nice.
And then, yeah, the coupe was 4.7 to 60. The automatic convertible was 6.1 to 60, which isn't
Ooh,
very.
that's a lot slower.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, there's no reason to think that the convertible would be much slower. It's probably.
How much heavier are the convertibles?
I think they're like 100 pounds or so, 150 pounds.
That's
So
it.
it's probably still a sub 5-second car. Although
It
we
just
never.
shows you the way that transmissions have developed since then, because all the automatics are way quicker now.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was just a conventional 4-speed automatic.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, now the dual clutches are much quicker.
Man.
The one thing I will say, like, I have a friend who's got an '80s 911 cab, and I drove it in high school, and then I drove it again more recently, and I was surprised at how stiff the structure is in the convertibles, even the '80s. And I got to imagine, I mean, I've never driven a 993 cab, but I have to imagine they're just as stiff as far as.
Yeah, Porsche, when it switched to 993, claimed that the 993 was 20% stiffer than the 964, which was already stiffer than the Gs.
Yeah.
I really like that interior because it's like just modern enough, but it's not like that plasticky kind of 90s looking thing from the 996. It's like kind of classic, but still modern-ish. A nice middle ground.
Yeah, and it's still a 6-speed. This whole car is sort of a nice middle ground from 60s 911s to modern 911s because it's not that slow. The performance is still there. You still get the build quality from the early days of Porsche. They're
It almost sounds like you own one.
You also get the leather smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have one of those.
Oh man.
And
I
it's
have a
got a
coupe.
power passenger seat. Look at that.
Wow.
A lot of owners would cheap out. Oh, I can't tell. Maybe, and they would get the manual passenger seat.
There's
Is there a
also
picture of all the options? Is there a picture of the
$3,800
options?
No,
plaque?
there's no picture of the option sticker under the hood.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and it's got the cassette holders.
I was gonna say,
You can put your Chris Christopherson and Widespread Panic in there.
man.
You could take that out and you can get a little storage bin instead of the tape holder.
What year is your 993?
It's a 95.
Where are you gonna put your tapes?
I don't keep tapes in the car anymore.
So this is just
No.
like a convertible version
If
of
you have a
your car.
cassette deck, you should.
Next to his magnets.
Next to my magnets.
The magnets would erase
I
them.
love playing tapes in my old cars. I play
Magnetic
my old
tape.
tapes.
Oh, I can't tell if the crests are pointed to the valve stem. That's like a Porsche tech
They are
work in
not.
your car.
No, they
I
are
don't
not.
think They are.
You know.
But it looks super clean. It's a good deal. I mean, the convertibles are a good deal versus the coupes.
Top has a bit of a funky fit, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
I don't know, it just looks a little saggy.
The top?
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
Fine.
Well, you can see where you can see a slight like a meniscus where it between the bow.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, the B pillar exactly.
A meniscus. I was just
Meniscus.
thinking about
I was-
meniscus the other day.
That was for Brett. He likes SAT words.
Is the plural of meniscus menisci or meniscuses?
Meniscum.
I had that thought the other day, Jonathan.
We don't-
One of my stories.
No. This one looks like it has an aftermarket exhaust, or it might have had the sport exhaust, because these aren't the stock tips, at least, or at least not in 95. I don't think that's the 95 tip.
No,
Doesn't have a VIN tag on the rear either.
had a 96 and it was brutal. So for the 95, I think
I suppose it could be behind there.
Yeah, you had all the check engine light issues, didn't you, Jonathan?
yeah, exactly. Constantly.
From the secondary air injection being clogged, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
that and then just mystery ghost stuff that Beverly Hills Porsche could not figure out and would say come back in 6 weeks if it comes on again. At
Yeah,
another-
these suffer from soft valve guides, so they start burning oil, and then the oil basically burns through the system, burns through the exhaust, and then clogs the secondary air injection port. On the 95s, there's no sensor for the secondary air injection port, so you don't ever know about it. But on the newer cars, which are OBD2, there's a sensor there, and so you find out, and then it just trips it. And there's a pretty good procedure to clean it now. It's a known issue. So
Got it. Well, then if you don't know about it in 95, is there a check you got to do then regularly to make
No.
sure?
it's fine. It's all
It's,
good.
I mean, it's an efficiency gain, right?
It's an emissions thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an emissions and efficiency.
Ah.
Yeah, so
And you're not too worried about emissions, Jonathan, clearly. So
think my eyes are starting to glaze over.
Yeah, I know. I stopped it. Don't worry, I stopped it. So now we come to the part of the show where we judge each other's picks. Mr. Caparella, any last words?
I was hoping you had forgotten about my car.
Walk the plank.
It's probably best if you rest your case.
Okay, I will. The only thing I'll point out is that my car has the highest red line of any engine presented here.
Any engine out of
If that counts for anything.
And lowest displacement.
True.
Is it maybe highest horsepower per liter?
Yeah.
No,
It is.
No. I'm over 100.
Are you?
Wait, how many horsepower is that 14?
440 or
414. I
Yeah,
thought.
you beat me. Okay.
And that was a 4
Second
liter,
highest
not a
horsepower
4.2?
per liter.
Casey, that engine was a 4 liter, not a 4.2.
Oh, it is a 4.2.
Yeah. Joey
Well, I
wins.
think it
No,
was
but
a
if
4
it's
liter. Do we want to pause this and find this out for sure?
Yes.
Mine's exactly 100.
Yeah, I don't care.
1.8.
I don't care that much.
There's no pausing. All right, I give
How
you a
much power-
thumbs up, Joey.
Thank you.
Thumbs up. Barry.
If no one else gives me a thumbs up, I'll be happy.
If we consider the actual assignment, which was an iconic engine.
So this is now with the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. That's what we're doing? Okay. Letter of the law.
I'm gonna give him a thumbs up as well.
I'll take it.
I would
What-
never drive that car or be
Wait,
seen.
yeah, what's Casey doing?
Oh no, yeah.
But
that was implied.
was a given.
I'm sorry. I thought it was implied.
Okay.
And
Well,
Joey,
we had
what was your
boring, yeah.
favorite? What was your favorite car, Joey?
I'm torn between the Golf and the RS4, but I think I'll probably go for the RS4,
Oh.
given the moral and ethical implications of the cheating diesel.
I'm shocked you didn't pick
I mean,
mine.
I love that RS4.
think of the world-changing aspects of the diesel. Think of
Yeah,
what
change the world for the worse.
for humanity. What? The ID4, the ID3, the ID Buzz.
Well, I guess maybe, ask me 50 years from now.
Oh my- wow. All right. Okay.
All
Fair
right,
enough. Maybe the
Brett.
only one of us who's alive then.
Brett and the Adenauer. Any last pitches for the Adenauer, Brett?
I think I'm gonna just rest on the laurels of what I've already discussed. It's kind of an amazing vehicle. You could get it with a manual as well, obviously, 4-speed. On
Thumbs
the
up.
column, did we mention that?
I didn't realize the Adenauer shared a lot of its engine with the 300 SL. That's pretty.
Yeah, neither did I. That's cool.
Joey, what are you with the Adenauer?
Oh, I did thumbs up for sure.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Uh,
I
Brett,
did,
what
I
was
did a
your-
thumbs up only because I have an engine with basically that's fuel injection pumps. Great grandson.
He has a
Oh.
Cummins turbo diesel.
Yeah.
Ram.
It's a Bosch mechanical injection.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, I'm glad to have made that connection.
Brett, what was your favorite car?
I think
The one you awarded. Wait. You already gave it an award, right?
Wait, what?
You already gave it an
Whoa,
award.
whoa,
in Vanity
whoa, whoa,
Fair,
no,
right?
no, that's not how we do things.
No.
Brett, what is your favorite car?
Of all?
No, of the cars today.
Oh, can I pick my own? Because I think
No, you can't pick your
No.
own.
Do not pick your own, Pearly. Pearly always picks his own.
He's like, somehow I got 38 votes.
I mean, I feel like the flat six in the air-cooled flat six in the 911 is a little boring.
Oh, we celebrated too soon.
I'm drawn to the diesel. I'm drawn to the diesel for its dastardly qualities. So I think I'm gonna go with Jonathan's diesel.
Oh.
He was starting his sentence and then he saw you raise your arms and then he changed it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
No, I wasn't gonna vote. I would never vote for a Porsche air-cooled flat six. I hate those cars.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's so hurtful. All right, Casey.
I, on the other hand, love them. So the 911 gets my vote for sure.
I give you a thumbs up, not just because you said that on the RS4. That is,
I looked it up, by the way. It's 420 horsepower, so it's the same horsepower per liter as my car.
420 PS. It's 414.
I think it was 420 PS.
Less.
So your car wins.
Yep.
That
RS4 is great.
it wins that metric.
Right. It's the only-
And the 911 is the best engine ever, right, Casey?
Yeah, no, 911. Yeah, of those cars, 911.
I mean,
It's
that's leading the witness, but
no, it's not leading the witness at all. It was like I look at this. It's like what would I buy? And while I wouldn't buy a Matrix. I'd buy a Golf diesel, but given the choice between with 50 grand buying a Golf diesel or a 911, I'm buying the 911.
Well, okay.
Can't really argue with that.
Yeah, now it's cool too, but that's just not. I need more. I don't know, more gray in my beard before I can really rock one of those.
Jonathan, I think you're up next, Jonathan, and I think your car is more infamous than iconic.
Wait, no, you said great engine. The engine won Ward's. It got on Ward's 10 best 3 years in a row.
I know some of the people.
But their
that
10
were on
best
the
is a
Wards-
false
I
10
know
best.
some of the people that were on the Wards jury, and I don't think that award is that great.
You guys always have your
It's a false
insider
10 best.
knowledge. I
Make
talked
the
to a
wins,
guy.
baby.
I talked to a guy in the administration that year, and he told me, I mean, come on.
Let's
All right.
let him have this one.
Sideways.
Yeah, I'm giving him a thumbs up.
Great.
Thumbs up. Come
Ah.
on. That's a great pick.
I'll take it. And RS4, without doubt. I love the 911 is great. I feel like the RS4 is, it's a little more rare and in the know. Like everyone knows 911 RS4 is. And when I drove it, I was like, oh my God, it was the first Audi to make me feel something. And it sounds amazing, feels great. And
They're going to appreciate like crazy. I think they are.
They're rare. They're rare.
Yeah.
they're fun to ring out. Like it didn't bother me to have fun in the car. Not like an S2000 or Joey's Matrix. where
You
I
could
end up-
still talk on the phone. Is that what you're saying?
Talkable.
Again,
No,
I didn't
that's
want to
true,
say
Jonathan.
myself, but since you brought it up.
My talkability rating.
Yeah. What other cars? I mean, I was between at 25 grand. It was an LS7 in a Z06
Mhm.
or a Boss 302.
That's cool.
And those were my other two. But
I think you chose well, Casey.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You surprised
I'm
me.
just curious what other cars people
To
had.
be honest, I looked at a few 3800 V6s.
I did as well. I
Yeah,
was
you
looking-
just wanted Jonathan's vote.
Yeah.
I wanted
And he
I
would have
wanted-
gotten it.
a supercharged Riviera. You know,
All right,
I-
finally, the only air-cooled car, an engine that went over 30 years in production, and the one I selected is the ultimate expression of it. Yes, yes.
I mean, you like it's my favorite one, but your selling of it makes me want to go
Right.
not this
Be
way.
less annoying about it, and we'll be more likely to vote thumbs up.
It is a rather obvious choice.
Yeah.
Oh, don't look like that.
Icons should be somewhat obvious.
I guess, but it's like
Yeah.
someone had picked a small block Chevy V8 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, no one stopped
Yeah.
you.
I'm not gonna lie, a Z28, the previous gen Z28, I did try to find one of those for 25 grand.
And I think
Oh, yeah.
Casey's RS4 is definitely the winner for me this week. And I think it wins. I think this is your third week, Casey.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 out of 5.
But who's keeping track?
We should try. We should start keeping score and then have like a little trophy that lines up on the
If
bottom.
we get really bored this winter, we'll go back and watch all the previous episodes and tally up.
Yes,
Yeah,
Casey,
yeah.
I know exactly what the trophy's going to look like. It's going to look like an Aerostar.
Do that.
Just
Yes.
play the commercial again.
All the cases.
Play the commercial again.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. As I said last week, if you watch this long, hopefully you'll give us a like and subscribe to carandriver.com or subscribe to whatever. I don't know. Whatever you do on YouTube. But
Buy
hit
the
the like
magazine.
button.
Buy the
Please hit the like
magazine,
button.
please.
Yes. Also, subscribe to the magazine. All right. Thanks, guys.
$5.
See you next week. Thanks, Brett, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on again.
Shoes.
Okay, bye guys.
new Porsche 911 Carrera was crash tested in this secluded building. To Gerhard Royce, who tunes the radical new suspension. To Ivanka Madsen, who stitches a cabriolet top that takes 14 hours to make. And to Stepan Rebrovich, who builds the more powerful engine by hand. This building was the perfect place for these crash tests. Why? Because it meant they didn't have to watch.